Hey everybody, welcome to the next SciCraft episode. So you can see I'm already busy here with a lot of Shulker boxes. That's all needed in order to craft a lot of pistons. So I'm converting 45 Shulker boxes of logs into 180 Shulker boxes of planks, which is needed in order to craft 60 Shulker boxes of pistons. And it's quite a tedious job. Also, the setup I'm having here at the moment is probably not the best we can make. It would probably be better to make something redstone. It's probably also the content for today's episode, to make this a bit more convenient. And also I want to craft some dispensers. I want to make a machine that would make it a bit more convenient. Okay, since I've already set up everything, already brought over the stone, redstone and iron. And the planks are really the last piece I need to add for the crafting system in order to craft the pistons. I'll just continue to do this manually here, but after that we'll look into ways to make this job here at least more convenient. The crafting is done. It worked okay-ish. We had some issues with the crafting system. For some reason one of the minecarts actually got nudged and it was not standing on top of both pistons, and this messed up the whole system. I was AFK while crafting, had a script running just to click on the crafting icon, and once I came back, then because the minecart was only standing on one of the hoppers, an insufficient amount of those items got dispensed, and then my inventory filled up with the other items and I couldn't craft pistons anymore, basically, because I was running out of redstone dust. So we lost a bunch of items. I think I got about 46 out of 60 Shulker boxes of pistons, so we lost about 14 Shulker boxes worth of piston materials. But yeah, I guess we can. This is not a big loss, really. I mean, it's all renewable materials. What was a bit frustrating was that all of those planks got lost, and this was really the most annoying part of preparing all the materials. We had to place down all the Shulker boxes and do this all manually. It would be nice to have a system for that. Okay, that's the one thing I want to work on next. So the idea is to make something similar to the netherwort crafting system or the slime block crafting system. So I have a dispenser that would dispense Shulker boxes of logs, crafting table in the middle. You would craft the logs into planks, empty Shulker boxes on the right that gets dispensed. You put everything into that Shulker box, and then the filled Shulker box is broken, a new one is dispensed, and so on. And then a little storage on the side where all the filled Shulker boxes with planks would go. Also, this could be used for probably other materials. So I also had to uncraft iron blocks in order to get the ingots out again. So this could be used for different tasks. Alright, maybe let's head over to the netherwort farm, because I want to show you a little flaw with the system right now. And we're back at the good old netherwort farm. We haven't really used this place for quite a while. I think the last time was before the server tour, more or less, since we didn't need a lot of netherwort blocks so far. Maybe that changes at some point, but I think we still have 100k netherwort blocks left, so yeah. At least for mid-sized projects we have enough. Alright, now back to the crafting system. There is something similar I want to use for the planks. You would take out the netherwort out of the Shulker box, and then you would craft it up and put it into the Shulker box on the right. Now I already saw the little flaw that as soon as the Shulker box is empty, it would break the Shulker box. And it would be nice to have enough time in all cases to also put the last stack in your inventory before that box is broken. Really convenient. And it's actually possible to make a system that does that. It was recently shown by Palla. You could basically also detect if the Shulker box is opened, and then only break the Shulker box if it's no longer opened up and there's no item in it anymore. So you can detect that easily by just placing an entity on top of the Shulker box. It will be moved up with the Shulker box, and then you could maybe detect it with a pressure plate or string if the entity is getting raised up, and then only break the box if both cases are true. So shulker box is empty and entity is lowered down again. So this would be pretty convenient. And yeah, maybe let's check out Palla system if there's anything to improve about it. And then we can maybe fix the netherware crafting system and also implement that for the new plank crafting system. So we're now in Palla's creative world where I built up his system, and here you can see how he's done it. So he placed an armor stand partially on top of the shulker box and partially on top of an iron pressure plate. Alright, so if you would open up the shulker box, then the armor stand is lifted off the pressure plate, which in turn retracts this sticky piston, and then we power this redstone dot here. So this is basically the OR gate here, this block, this concrete block. So either we get the signal from the signal strength of the comparator, or this dot is powering the block because the armor stand is lifted off. So only if both cases are true, armor stand is down, then this dot isn't powered, and the shulker box is empty, then this block is no longer powered by the comparator. This piston would retract and yeah, basically break the shulker box here with this sticky piston, pushes down the fence gate, and then we also attacks this repeater and powers this dispenser here for a little delay in order to dispense a new box. Alright, this is probably already as good as it gets. I don't think I can improve this. Yep. Alright, and he also uses that for the right side. So he would put in iron blocks here, and he would also wait until you close it. But I don't think this is necessary. Or is it? No, while we are at it, we could just maybe also copy this part. I don't think it's necessary, but it's also no disadvantage to have a system like this for the right part. Because usually you would have a certain amount of planks in this case, which we would shift click in, and if this is broken immediately, then you might throw out your stack because the inventory gets closed when a shulker box is broken immediately. So it might be actually a good idea to also do it on the right side. I think this works quite similarly. Yeah, there's really nothing to improve, I guess. And we're back in survival world at the main storage complex area, where I already built up the system here. Right, I would say we try it out. Let's fill this up. Some shulker boxes of spruce logs. Press the button, then you would take everything out. So this is quite nice. Then auto-craft planks. We use the carpet mod feature for it. And then we can fill up this shulker box. Oh yeah. Would actually be more convenient if it would break automatically, because who cares if I dropped it one stack? So I need to pick it up anyway. Yeah, would definitely be better if you wouldn't have that armor stand system for the right. Okay, I think I'm gonna remove it so this becomes a bit quicker and I have to press less keys to achieve the same. So what I did in order to fix this issue was just, instead of completely rebuilding it, I just moved the armor stand a bit over. Oh, there's a zombie. At the moment, Gnemon is farming at the Guardian farm, so we have some mobs spawning at the moment. It's a bit of a problem. Yeah, I just moved the armor stand completely on the pressure plate, so in case we may want to go back to the old system, can easily fix this. Alright, but now we would break the shulker box a bit quicker. I think this should be a bit more convenient. So let's try this out. So here we definitely want the armor stand, so I can put my last stack in the inventory. Let's craft some planks again. And let's see how this compares. So yeah, I would say this is definitely a bit better to do it like this. Obviously, it would be even nicer if this was even quicker. So here, maybe with the right system, we should maybe try to improve the speed of the system so it breaks the box even faster if that's even possible. That would be a slight improvement. But it's definitely better not to use the Amazon system here. So there's just one little issue we need to solve. What about all those empty shulker boxes? So here would be the input with the logs or iron blocks. Then the shulker box is broken here, so at the moment just stored in a chest here at the bottom. And we obviously could maybe do it like on the other side where we store the crafted items. Put a lot of chests here in order to store the empty boxes. Or we could also try to do something new, and this involves a carpet mod feature, so it's not in vanilla, but it's really convenient and use it a lot on our server. So in 1.12.0, so the normal version, you could actually get stacked shulker boxes, and with the crafting book exploit tube. And we like that feature so much that we actually implemented it with a carpet mod rule. So what we do, if you would throw empty boxes on the floor, they would stack up. So now we have 3 stacked empty shulker boxes. And we use that actually quite often. For example, here, or you put in stacked empty shulker boxes, just to avoid having to place double chest upon double chests, just to feed the dispenser here. So this is a lot more convenient. You can just use a single chest. Now I was thinking we could actually maybe try to stack up the empty shulker boxes somehow. So if a dispenser would shoot them out, then we could get a stack of 64 at some point and pick it up somehow. Problem is, if you put the stacked shulker boxes into a hopper, it would try to transfer the items. So can I break this block? Yep. So here the hopper is sucking unstacked boxes out of the double chest, obviously. So it's not really easy to deal with that. We would probably need to use hopper minecarts in order to pick up the stacks of empty shulker boxes, and then we would also probably need to store it in the hopper minecart, since we can't get it out in a stacked way at least. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go actually. There's probably no way around this. I went to a creative world again in order to see if this works. So let's see if the minecart can pick up a stack. Yep, that definitely works. And we can also take it out again. Unfortunately, there's really no way to get the stack of shulker boxes in a chest somehow, since it would involve hoppers. And if you would involve a hopper, then it would unstack the stacked shulker boxes. So there's really no way to get them inside of this without any player interactions. So the best we can do is probably try to fill up several hopper minecarts with empty boxes and then just take them out. With, the player needs to do this and put it in a double chest again manually. It's probably the best way to do this. Alright, now it's time to put all the pieces together. It's actually been 10 days since I recorded the last clip, so that's why I'm somewhere else in the creative world. I couldn't find the old stuff anymore. But anyway, so here we have a contraption that spits out exactly 64 non-stackable items once it has this amount. So it works like this. So we have a chest plus 2 hoppers, so 54 plus 2 times 10. And once the top hopper is basically filled up completely, we have 64 items. And then this comparator turns on and activates the Aura's knowledge. So an item in a dropper gets shot into the other dropper, and then the following happens. We block this hopper so it doesn't suck out new items out of the storage on top. And additionally, we also get a signal from the comparator that turns on. So we get this with the server here. Activate the sticky piston and push away a redstone block that previously powered this hopper below the chest with the shulker boxes. So the items are now able to go over to the dropper, which also activates a observer clock. So here we get the item now into this dropper, torch turns off, rail gets unpowered, starts the little observer clock. So the items are then shot out at hopper speed, so every 8 ticks. And once the dropper is empty again, which we detect here with this comparator, we activate the dropper again, item is shot over, and everything is set to normal again. So this hopper is no longer locked, but the hopper at the bottom will be locked. So we can try this out. Just put in more shulker boxes here at the top. Okay, now it's filled up. As you can see, no longer suck out any items out of the chest. And despite this hopper being blocked, we can still take out items with the other hopper. Alright, you can see here the items are shot out. And once there's no item left, just stop the process again. Then we should have 1 stack of shulker boxes here. Okay, there we go. And there's actually a problem. Didn't know about. Okay, so it seems like we have 2 stacks on both sides. But at least we can check out if the amount was right. So you get 31 and 33. So we either need to align this somehow, maybe with a water stream. Or what could we also do? Maybe push it over with a piston once it's done. Like this. And then we would have maybe the minecart. Yeah, that's okay, I guess. The minecart maybe below this block, sitting on here. Putting a trapdoor here is also another way to prevent getting 2 stacks of items. But I also ran into another issue, which is a dilemma. We need to put the minecart on an activator rail in case we want to have it directly below the block where the items are stacked up. So we could do it like this. Once we got all the 64 items dispensed, we could unpower the activator rail, then the minecart would pick up the full stack. But on the other hand, we also need to detect how full the hopper minecart is. Once we have 5 stacks of shulker boxes in there, we need to send in the next minecart in order to pick up more. So we could actually have the minecart on a detector rail and an activator rail at the same time, but unfortunately, yeah, the detector rail influences the activator rail by powering it, so we could never unpower it really. So there's a bit of a dilemma. Probably have to solve this with a piston again. Maybe just push the items over and place the minecart on a detector rail here and don't use an activator rail. So we're just gonna wait until we have the stack and then push everything over. So once all 64 items are dispensed, we push them over, then the minecart can hopefully pick them up. And then we just need to work on pushing everything back afterwards. So let's see if this works at least. Right, and the minecart got 63 plus a single item. So there was probably not enough time for the items to stack up. Kinda need more delay here. There might be a better way to fix this, which doesn't involve more delay. You can probably also just let the items drop down a little bit, which gives them enough time to stack up, yeah, and pick them up with the minecart afterwards. The next piece we need to add is the minecart storage. Unfortunately, you can't store them in item form, which would be the lag-friendliest way. Since yeah, you can dispense hopper minecarts like this, but if you try to break them again and put them into item form again, they drop a minecart and a hopper, unfortunately. And since there's no auto crafting, it's probably not worth it to do it like this. So that's why we need to store the minecarts in entity form, and there's I built up 2 options we could use. So either you store them all in a single block like this. Oh wait, it didn't put in the rail. So let's just track that, push it in again. So I could put multiple minecarts on the same rail. And in order to separate them again, we need to put the rail on the side again. So they're still all in a single block, but no longer standing on the rail. And if you give a short pulse now to the saline block below, then only a single minecart gets shot out at the top, so like this. Now you could just push this minecart over and you get a single minecart. So there's the next one. This would be a simple minecart separator, but it's not completely wired up yet, but it's just the mock-up. Another option would be the good old Minecart Pez Dispenser. So this is, I would say, even simpler than the minecart separator, you just need to put the minecarts on top of a slab, then depower the sticky piston for 4 game ticks, and then the minecart is getting pushed out, one after the other. This system would have the advantage that you don't need to worry about new minecarts coming in, so it would also work while new minecarts drive in from the top, while this is a problem with this system here. That's why I'm thinking just to use the simpler system, since we just need to deal maybe with 10 minecarts or so. It requires more space, but for a medium amount of minecarts, I think this is still acceptable. Okay, I'm going with the Pez Dispenser version, and I already tried to wire this up. So the idea is that once the minecart is completely filled up, we get single strength 15, and then we open the fence gate in front. Minecart takes off and we dispense a new minecart. Alright, unfortunately we ran into more issues. This is actually interesting. If you put a stacked, unstackable item into the minecart, then the comparator internally actually works with single strengths beyond 15. So it would be in the hundreds now. So if you just put in maybe 19 Shulker boxes, it should already be way beyond single strength 15. So it would already open up if you just put in a single stack. But there might be a way to work with this. So we just use another hopper and fill it up with stacked items as well. So internally the comparator should also work with that. Do we need to use a hopper, or could we use something else? Maybe a dropper. Hopper is also fine, why not? Okay, so let's fill this up. At the bottom, prepared some stacks already. So now let's see if we fill this up to 63. And then the minecart should take off once we have 5 stacks in it. Okay. What happened now? So it should... Wait, is it stuck somehow? Oh, I get what's happening. Oh, but it's actually interesting. There's a mechanic in a game, the more items you put in a minecart, the heavier it gets. And that's also the case here now. Oh. So we can't use rails in order to transport the minecarts or what? It's actually funny. But also, what are we gonna do now? Could either try to push the minecart around with pistons, or let's see, maybe if you just use 4 stacks, then do we have... Oh yeah, now it goes. Alright. It's super slow, but it works. Alright, let's see what happens if we maybe drive up some rails. Is this enough? Okay, no issue. Okay, this would work. Alright, the other issue I'm seeing right now is to get the minecart out of the holding box now, since I couldn't make it on top of the powered rails even. So maybe let's see if we can reduce the amount even more. So I have 3 stacks. If the minecart's gonna make it. Doesn't make it as well. Maybe just try to rebuild this part here. Seems like that's going to be quite tricky, so what I tried next is to put the minecart on a powered rail directly afterwards. You can see 4 stacks, and then we put it here on the powered rail, but it somehow doesn't get enough momentum or not enough acceleration, so it gets stuck here. You somehow need to give the minecart enough momentum. Also I tried to let the minecart drive down, but that seems like it's not an option as well. So you can see here, once we reach the normal rails again, we don't have enough momentum. So we somehow need to give the minecart momentum. So I tried around a little bit and found a solution. We can use a slime block in order to give the minecart enough momentum. Just push it on top of a rail. So let's fill this up. 4 stacks. Then we put the minecart on a block without a rail on top, and retract the block and push it over in the right moment. So it's just a mock-up. I'm gonna wire this up a bit more cleanly later, but as you can see, there's enough momentum even to make it up. Alright. And it seems like if the minecart has enough momentum, it also can make the transition from going down to straight again. Alright, I think I'm at a point where I want to continue building this in the survival world, since we need to take the location into consideration. For example, make decisions if we want the minecart to go right or left and so on. So it's better to put the pieces together in the actual survival world afterwards. Another little contraption we need is basically the minecart player interaction. So somehow, make another Pez Dispenser maybe, and put the minecart into the player's reach, one after the other, and just once maybe put it on the detector rail again. So once you take out all the Shulker boxes and then put it into a double chest which is nearby, send the minecart off, maybe again in the Pez Dispenser here, and send in a new minecart. So the idea is basically to put all the stacked Shulker boxes in a separate double chest, which requires the player, unfortunately. Alright, since we're way beyond 25 minutes already, I think this is something I'm gonna do in one of the upcoming episodes where we complete the system. Thanks a lot for watching, see you in the next one, bye bye!